Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be making a basic side scroller in Playcanvas. Now, if you don't follow along, it can get a little complicated, so just stick with me and let's just hop right into it. So first we are going to take the box and set the scale, the Z scale to 0.1. Now we have this flat box, right? So we can go here and create a new material, and then we can make this material whatever color we want. So we can say the diffuse.
So before we do that, yeah, make it diffuse 0. Like specular, make the specular the middle color make no glossiness, and the emissive you make it like any color you want. Make sure the intensity is like, if it's 0, it's not gonna work. So you just want to keep it at, you can make it red or whatever color you want. So how about this blue?
So once we do that, we can go to the box again, and then we can add the material to it by dragging it into the material. And now we have our blue box.
Also, let's change the perspective to front. Make the thing front so that it's much easier to see.
Yes, because right now our camera is, not that good.
So now it's more.
So how we can do that is we can set the X rotation to 0. Wait. And then we can set the Y to 90. No, 180. Okay, it's negative 180. Okay, it's not rotating apparently. 180. Technical mishaps. Oh, okay, don't mess with it. Don't. Okay, perfect. Now we have this. Let's move it up a little. And now we can see the player. So we want to go to the plane and set the Z to 0.1.
We're also gonna make the plane a box because then it's just like a line. We have to make it a box.
Yeah, exactly.
And just kind of make these go up a bit. And make the plane go a bit down.
Now what we want to do to the plane is add a component, rigid body, and
Okay, so it's
static. And then we also want to add component, collision.
So we're gonna import ammo too. Yeah, we're gonna import ammo too, because that thing is needed. Ammo is basically the physics.
Yes.
So
yeah. Click import ammo. And click
for half extents are basically just you put the size of the plane by half of it, so 4, and the rest is just and for I think Z, I found out the best.
So we want to set our collision to this and make sure our rigid body is static. If we were to set it to dynamic, it would fall due to the physics. Now we want to do the same to the player, or the box, which we can rename.
Which we're gonna rename the player.
And then we're going to
we're going to
make it dynamic this time.
Yeah, dynamic.
And then we're gonna add
for angular factor, we're gonna make that kind of 0 for now, because if it's like 1, like rotate a lot, and restitution, we're gonna make this to 1.4.
So now we're gonna make the ground maybe a little longer.
Collision, basically. Make this 2. Also, we're going to make ammos. Anyways, we're gonna add, and we're gonna call this materials. We're gonna drag new material into this folder. We're gonna name this to a box, all caps. And then we can create a new right, and we can create a new material. We're gonna call this material ground.
So now we can make this
We're
whatever
gonna say
color we want. So for example, we can make
it to make this
black for the diffuse, and then for the emissive, we can maybe set it to like a dark green to like represent grass or something. See how it looks. That's looking okay.
make the green a bit. It looks a bit dark.
And then we can see how it looks by just dragging it into the material. And it is a little too bright in my opinion. So we can fix that easily.
It's a bit dark on mine. This looks really dark.
I also don't like the color of the player, but I'll just make it a little lighter. And it's not supposed to be pretty, but here you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the ground, paste it, move it into the root, and put it up so the player doesn't jump too high, which we can code that later. Then we can paste another one.
I'm gonna call this so should we rename this to this thing? Oof.
If you want, you can rename it.
Yeah. Also, to organize them, we're gonna create a new entity, a blank entity. We're gonna call this new entity level layout.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we can just drag everything into there.
Yeah, just drag. To simplify stuff.
The last two of the grounds are what's it called? Walls. I think. Yeah. So now we have our ground here.
We have
we can go to camera.
the left. I'm gonna rename this to left wall. Right.
Yes, exactly. So we know exactly what we're going to be coding in, or well, coding with. Now we can change the background color. And then if you go to the camera, it will show it up here on the top left what it looks like. And it looks a little strange, but we're not going to be worrying about it. So, now that we have all of this done, we can start scripting. So we're going to go back to the folders, which we made the ammo and the materials in. Then we're going to create a new folder. And name this folder.
Create a new folder and call that scripts.
Yep. Ryan, I already made one.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we can go inside the scripts and a new script. This one will be called player controller. So we can double click the script and it will send us to the code editor.
Okay, so add the player. So we're going to add the script to the player. So the script component, right? You want to add it now? The script?
Yeah. So we can go to player, And then add component.
Script component, add script,
Yeah,
and player controller.
you already added script.
And
Controller.
and so basically we have edit. You have the edit button here, so you can edit the stuff here. You have parse, which is basically refreshing the thing. So if you add like a new, let's say a new variable or something like that, or the code's not working, you can refresh it right here. You can also add a few stuff which we're going to show right now, like attribute.
And then we also have the on button, so you can turn the script on and off, and then you can just remove the script.
Okay, so in the code editor, edit, in the scripting environment, IDE, whatever, you have the var player controller equals pc.create script and the name right here. And then we have initialize and update. Basically, initialize is just basically it plays on the start of the frame, and update updates every frame basically. So initialize plays in first frame only, and then updates every frame.
So the reason it does that is because we have the DT, and the DT stands for delta time, and that means it just goes on.
Delta time is basically the kind of limiter, I think. So because delta time, if you add this into your code when creating movement, it'll stay consistent. If you don't add that thing, then it'll be different on different computers. So if one computer is slow, the movement will be slow. If a computer is fast, it'll be fast. But with delta time, it makes it consistent basically, or constant.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to start by well,
adding the
how do you
attributes.
want? So do you want to start by creating an attribute?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to create an attribute, right?
And then
So
create it by typing.
we create an attribute by typing player controller
Or
dot
whatever the name of your script is.
attributes dot add,
Parentheses.
and then we create the name in quotation marks, like whatever we want. So like name the speed, right?
Yeah.
And we can have you have to do these curly brackets, and we do type semicolon, then these single quotation marks. We do type number, right? And then title is optional, but you can add that in. Speed. You can also add default if you want. So default, you can add default number. You can just do, let's say 10, right?
Yeah.
Default is the default number that comes in at first. But if you don't add default, usually the number is going to be 0.
And
If you go
always
back to the player,
and also make sure to save your script before you want to do anything, because then the attributes won't
yes,
show
you
up
want
and it also won't affect the game. You can do this
to,
by
yeah, so you want to
pressing
save
Control
the
S,
script by either doing it manually up in the corner, like the file, then save, or you can do Control S.
which I prefer since it's faster. So now that we're back at player, we can press the parse button or the little recycling little symbol. And we might have made
An error in this code. Let's see. Wait. Oh wait. Okay. I think I see the error. So in default, like in the attribute, default has to be default is a number. It's not really. Put quotation marks over it, it becomes a string. And numbers in Playcanvas taken actual numbers, not strings. So and now it works.
Now that we parsed it, we can see the speed now, which was set to the default 10. But what do you think a good speed would be?
Well, the default speed I usually put a 600 because the ammo physics that Unity engine and Playcanvas uses ammo physics. Just Playcanvas uses some ammo, which is bullet basically. Bullet is basically like a physics engine, and Playcanvas uses ammo, which is ammo is basically the JavaScript version of a bullet. And basically the physics is big numbers, floats and stuff. But those aren't important right now. So a good number is 600, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So
So
we can go back to the
if we go
script.
back in the script, we can start. Yeah, we're gonna start scripting now. So I want to
we need
start
to
by
go into
creating like, I want to start by creating the keys, like this dot app and key stuff, the keyboard stuff, you know.
yes.
So I'm gonna start with this dot app dot keyboard dot on, right? On PC dot event key down, this dot on key down, and then we have this at the end.
And
And do
also
the same
remember your
thing again.
semicolon.
Do the same thing again, but this time we do it with PC dot event key up, this dot on key up, and we have this. So what this stands for is that when we press the keyboard, for using the keyboard, then we use the event stored inside the PC or the main storage room for the code and stuff. We get the key down event or key up event, and then we create a function or a place to store this called this dot on key down or key up, and then this stores stuff, all the data basically, and makes its own self. So basically, if we did player controller dot prototype prototype dot on key down equals function. I think I'm gonna add an e here, but basically this is basically the basis for creating something like that. So we don't have to do this right now. We don't have to do this, but just so you know, you can do that too. So now we're going to go to update, right? And
this is where we will make our player movement code that will update every frame.
So if you want, you can also create a separate function. So basically, if you don't want to code directly inside the update, you can do a new function. So you can do player controller dot prototype dot say move, right? Move equals function dt. D stands for double time again. So we need dt. So basically, we can go to update and add this function. So we can do this dot move dt.
That is basically calling the functions, which means that we'll use it.
Yeah. Yeah, if we don't call the function, it's just gonna stay there and exist in the code, not do anything really.
Which is useless, because that means we coded the whole thing and it does nothing. So now we're going to get to the actual code where we can move the character.
Also functions allow us to like comment. So you can comment in the function now, like do this. You can do this too. So if you don't want to run the code, which makes it bug a lot, you can just comment it out like this. Or you don't have to use it at all. So basically, the code that you don't want to use, you can make that function and comment and not use it. Basically, so you can save that code for later when it actually works, right?
Or make a comment for developers.
Yeah. So anyways, so in move we're going to do an if function or an if statement, right? So an if statement is basically saying that it allows us to say like if this is true, if we're doing this and doing this or and that, then we run this function. So basically I can do if run this is true, right? If run this equals to true, and these two things, two pipe signs are basically means or. So if you do this, it means or. Then run that equals true, right? Then
It will do everything inside of it.
and this dot run code or something like that, right? Something like this. So you can just put the code, whatever code you put here. So it's just code you want to run basically. And this is, you can also do this. You can do to and, which is basically doing this and that. Both have to be true. If both if one is false, then the whole thing is false. Or
Exactly.
it means that
Either one of
if
them
either
could be
one is
true.
true, if one is true, then the whole thing is true basically. Okay, so that's the basics. So we're gonna do um
So we're gonna
if
start with
this
if.
dot keyboard dot is pressed, then we're gonna do PC dot key all caps underscore. Let's say the right arrow, right?
Yep.
This means the right arrow wherever you want. So basically, if you press the right arrow on the keyboard, then we run this function. So we want to do this dot entity dot rigid body dot apply force. Then we do this dot speed times dt
That's where the
0 and
DT
0.
comes in, which is very good.
So basically, what this means is that this entity, the entity we have, or the object we're coding in, yes, if it has a rigid body, we access the rigid body, right? Then we apply force using the rigid body, and then we add this dot speed, the amount this dot speed contains, times delta time, which is basically the constant, that makes it constant speed. Then we have 0, 0, which just is 0, basically.
Because we don't
And
want
what
to
this does is
change what they do,
basically,
or we don't want to make them move up or move backwards or forwards. We just want
yeah.
to change
So
them to
this is,
move left or right.
so the first one is X, second one is Y, the third one is Z. So X is like left and right, Y is up and down, Z is front and back, but front and back is 3D basically. So we're not gonna touch Z that much except when we need it. So only the first and second one is X and Y. So Y is for jump, X is for usually like moving around in 2D, Z is for like moving around in 3D and stuff. Okay, so yeah. So if we save this code, right? If we save this right now, we save this and run the game.
All you have to do is go
Wanna
to
try it
the
out?
little window there and see the little play button on the right. You can press that. It will launch it for you. Now you can move right, but that's about it. So we might need to move the camera up a little bit. Whoa, 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 chill.
Yeah, the scale's gonna be a bit bigger. Scale is now on. So the Z-axis is now on me. What are you doing?
I might have screwed everything up. It's not letting me get out of the camera. There we go. I got it.
We're kind of just gonna, yeah, go down. Also, let's make the Z19. Kind of liked it at night for now.
That's pretty good. So, but we're all the way off the screen, so if we replay. And we can move, right?
Only to right.
Yeah, so to code this, it's very easy. So we can just do the
So,
exact opposite of what we did.
so yeah, just kind of copy the if statement.
And then paste it right after. But then instead of if is pressed PC.key right, we say is key left.
Left.
And then for
And
this
then
dot
we do
speed, we can say
negative
negative this
speed.
dot speed.
And basically it goes the opposite direction.
So basically, well, not basically, if we reload, we can just test this out. And the reason why we put the negative is because we want to put the negative of the speed. It is a little fast, but, and it's pretty laggy, but we can fix that some other time. So, next what we want to do is we want to add the jump.
To add the jump is gonna be quite simple. Do you want to do a new function or
No,
the
it's
same
fine.
function?
Just keep it in the same function.
Okay, so for jump it's a bit more complicated. Plus, you can it can be a bit more complicated. It can be a bit more complicated. It's not too hard. So if we do if dot app dot keyboard dot was pressed. So this means that if so that means if it was pressed once, so I'm not continuously seeing if you're pressing it.
Yeah, if you
PC dot key.
where is pressed, then it would say he would just keep flying up.
It will just be flying all the way up to heaven basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't really want that. We want just to do one. But you can still kind of glitch it somehow, and we're gonna fix that later on, but not now. So if this dot app dot keyboard was pressed, right, then this dot entity dot rigid body, right, dot apply impulse. Then we do 0. Also, we're gonna create. So do you want to add like a new attribute?
If you want, or we could just add a variable.
Yeah, you can add a variable. So to add a variable, you just like go up here, variables. We add var.
Then the name, whatever you want. So
Var.
you can say jump force.
I just say JForce because it's more simpler to type and quicker to
Yeah.
type. So JForce equals what number do you think is good? 500?
I'm not good with that, but sure.
Like 500 for now. So kind of just instead of doing this dot JForce, just do JForce because unlike these, you don't have to use this dot.
Because the
So when it comes
variable is
to
stored in the
attributes,
script, but when you're
so
saying
when it
this
comes
dot, you're trying to find something.
yeah, basically JForce and I don't think you use delta time that much, but we can use DT just for the sake of it. And put in the second part because put the thing in the second part of the code because we're using the y-axis, the y part, the y up and down, basically.
Yes.
If it wasn't z or it wasn't z or x, basically it would make it go sideways or front and back.
Yep.
I'm gonna try it out.
So if we reload, then we should see. So move left and right, and then we
You
can
can
also
also
jump. But you can double jump in this little small box. Or well, infinity jump, you could say. But now that we have that script down, we can add the camera controller so you can go beyond the little side here. So we want to go back.
also I want so if you go back to this back to the script, if you go back to the script, I want to change the J 350
Yeah,
and
so
try it out because it might be a bit more more of a low jump, but it should work a bit better, I think.
if we reload,
Yeah, it works a bit better. Although thing ab- so
So now that we have done the player controller and it's doing okay actually, we can go back to the main editor thing, and then we can do a set in the scripts, and then we'll say script. This will be camera controller, and then we can go to camera, add component, script, add script, camera controller, and then this is where we start. So we can go to camera controller, and then we can create an attribute.
the game might. So let's see.
So
We're going to the camera. So
we can
let's
add
see.
an
So
attribute controller attributes add parentheses. Then we can call it whatever we want. Oh, I accidentally put a comma. But we can say player.
wait.
We can put it in bracket.
Yeah.
Put this in brackets type. And we also need a comma after player. So we'll say type entity because we are trying to find an entity. And then we can put our semicolon at the end. Then we can save here.
Also, if you
And if we parse, then we can choose player and select and player. This code's pretty simple.
so if you want, you can also add a title if you want, but that's not.
It's not necessary.
So you could also do.
Like needed.
It's not needed, but you can also add a title because if you're recording a big game like, I recommend you add titles because those can make your game much more simple to understand. And we're gonna access the code and stuff. You have to like do short names like PL, RL, stuff like simple stuff. And want to add title to help you understand which one is which in the editor code, inspections. So you're gonna do player.
So yeah, exactly. So in the delta sign, this is where we'll start our code. Code is really simple. So we can say this entity dot
This dot entity
set
set
position
position.
parentheses, and then a semicolon at the end. So what we're doing is we're going into this, we're going into this is the script, we're going into the entity, so the camera, because we put the script in the camera, and now we're setting the position to whatever we put in here, a vector 3 value, so that means it'll have the x, y, and z in it like we explained before. So we can say this dot player dot get position dot oh yes, we also need that dot x. So what we're doing is we're going into the script, finding the player, we're getting the position, and then we're getting the x of that position. Now we can copy this, paste it, but change the x to a y, and then we could say, and then we could set it to z, but instead of using the player's z, we could say this dot entity dot get position dot z, because we are trying to find the z position he is in. We don't want the camera to move forward or backwards.
Put the z position forward to the player, then you don't see the player because then it'll be on the player or right inside the.
Yeah, and you probably won't even be able to see the player. So we can save and reload. And now the camera should move. It's a little glitchy, but
It's a little glitchy. It's really glitchy, but
it is very glitchy. Yes.
okay. So if you go back, can we go back to the player control?
Yes.
So you're back. So J-Force, I want to make J-Force, let's say 150 or something like that, because it's a bit too,
I think
glitchy.
the
And it
gun
jumps.
speed is too high. That's why.
So you can try playing around with J-Force. You can find the best value for you. But
And
for
also,
us,
if
it
you
might be.
go into
For me,
play,
it's for 50s.
I'm gonna change the speed of the
It
player to
barely
400 and see how it looks. See if it stops lagging or will glitching. And it's still very glitchy, but it's not
It's
as
glitching
glitchy in my
because of
opinion.
it's glitching because we're recording. Well, you're recording.
Because there's what? This is
Also, it's kind of bound. If you want to go to play.
So, maybe we'll do another
So
tutorial, but
so if you go to player, right,
yeah.
go to rigid body and you'll see restoration. I want to put that at 0 because then it'll stop so much, and it kind of glitches our computers up because we're kind of playing, kind of recording as well while he's recording, and I have lots of apps open, but for you might not be. But if it helps, you can just turn off the restitution or the name of the player. It will lower it not that much anymore. Actually, it'll stop now.
But we got everything down. I guess this will be the end of the tutorial, unless you have anything else you want to add.
Nothing.
What? You kind of lagged.
Yeah, I'm lagging because of recording and Discord.
So is that all?
Well, that's all for now, really, because you know how you can move the player can jump, move around.
And we also
So
got the
yeah, that's
camera
all
mode.
for now.
It's very simple scripts, and maybe we'll do a more complicated one